Hello everyone and welcome to my review for Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 131. If you're interested in seeing what my initial reaction was to this chapter, I uploaded my live reaction a little earlier today. It's the first time I've done one of these, and based on the positive reaction I've been seeing, I guess I'll be doing these every week from here on out. I guess this is basically just a Jujutsu Kaisen channel now, because that means I'm going to be doing twice as many Jujutsu videos every week, so I guess for you Jujutsu fans out there, celebrate. So, I think this chapter primarily serves two purposes. The first one is to sort of show off what exactly Mahito's true form is capable of. And the second purpose is to tease how exactly this fight is going to end and what Yuji's presumed power-up is going to be. So, for starters, with Instant Spirit Body of Distorted Killing, I've somehow remembered the whole name. Mahito's physical stats are amped way up. He is far more durable than he used to be. Although they never damaged him a lot, Mahito would still take damage from Yuji's punches. We'd seen that in both of their fights so far, but now he's even, like, punching him in the side, you know, when you go in for, like, kidney shots or whatever, or to hit someone in the liver. It's not doing anything. It's like punching a brick wall, pretty much. So, his durability has gone way up. You could probably have predicted that just from looking at how much muscle mass he has now. Mahito was kind of a twink before, but now he's, you know, full-blown Chad physique going for him. The other major thing is his physical strength. He is now strong enough to pick up Yuji by the face and smash him through the city street all the way down into the sewer, like smashing through city sewer pipes, which we had never seen Mahito be strong enough to do before. Of course, he could probably transfigure his body to be able to pull off something like that, but now he's just sort of casually doing it. So his strength as well as his durability have seemingly gone way up with this new form of his. We also have to consider the benefits of these new appendages that he has. He's hitting Yuji with his tail, he's slashing him up with his elbow blades, and it looks like he wrapped up Yuji's foot with the sort of tassel thing coming off the back of his head. I was looking at some discussion boards about this chapter earlier today. That's the fortunate thing about doing my live reaction now, is I can sort of give you my initial thoughts, spend like a couple hours seeing what other people had to say about the chapter, and then use that to sort of get all of my thoughts together and maybe give some good analysis for the actual chapter. Is that whenever Mahito has fought, he's always transfigured his body constantly throughout the fight in order to adapt to the various situations that he's in. With Instant Spirit Body of Distorted Killing, it seems that he has created a form that is able to respond to pretty much any situation he's in without having to transfigure. Some of you may not like this because basically Mahito's whole fighting style has revolved around him transforming his body, so him not needing to do that anymore kind of takes away some of the appeal of watching Mahito fight someone. But for me, it just sort of makes sense. Mahito has always been evolving, and the way that he always changes his body is for the purpose of maximizing its efficiency. We've already seen stuff earlier on in this fight with him just learning to fight by hardening his body and redirecting cursed energy instead of using his curse technique. So I feel like this is just sort of the natural evolution of that. Speaking of evolution, Yuji says that Mahito is seemingly now on a different level from any other cursed spirit that he's fought. And I think this just lends further credence to the idea that Mahito really is becoming the new King of Curses. When Sukuna killed Jogo, he told him, "You should not have cared about this whole becoming the new humans plot, all of that crap. If you wanted to become as strong as me and Gojo, you should have burned down everything in your path without a second thought." So then we have Mahito, who Jogo had propped up as a leader of the cursed spirits, who is constantly learning from all of his experience, and who doesn't really care about anything. He destroys things and kills people without a second thought. He's basically the perfect contender to become the new Sukuna, which I think is exactly why he has to be exercised here. The way Mahito is talking about how after he kills Yuji, he'll be truly born. I guess he's only been sort of half-born now. I don't know. It'll be like a crucifixion thing. Like, Yuji is the last remnant from before acquiring his true form, and that by destroying Yuji, he'll finally have overcome his lesser self and will be able to become the new King of Curses. And him being described as above cursed spirits, like above all other cursed spirits that Yuji has fought, and the fact that he says he's still not done evolving, that further cements my belief that Mahito is going to keep, I don't know, going up this evolutionary chain. He's going to turn into some kind of higher being. He's going to turn into some kind of cursed god, deity thing, which is why he has to be killed then. As this fight has gone on, I've become more and more convinced that Mahito is probably going to be killed by the end of the Shibuya incident. Alternatively, another theory going around is that Imposter Ghetto will just swoop in and take Mahito as another one of his Pokemon, which would kind of work, I guess, because if Yuji is not able to kill Mahito now, but has gotten a lot stronger, you could basically be like, alright, Yuji, you did your thing, now we're going to take Mahito out of the story for like another 100 chapters or something, and we'll let him back out once you've gotten a lot stronger and you can fight him again. I don't know how I feel about that. I think I just largely prefer Yuji just straight up killing Mahito, because I don't think Imposter Ghetto would show up in time to absorb Mahito prior to Yuji killing him. I don't think there would be like an in-between period. I think what would happen is that Yuji would just land the fatal blow and kill Mahito. There wouldn't be an opportunity for him to take him as one of his absorbed cursed spirits. Alright, now, getting into the second important thing to talk about with this chapter is the seemingly incoming power-up we have for Yuji. Yuji himself acknowledges in this chapter that he does not currently have the power needed to beat Mahito. Like, his punches are just not strong enough. And he says, I need to perform Black Flash. If I can get Black Flash to work, I can beat Mahito. We then have the reminder of the fact that, hey, no sorcerer can use Black Flash at will. Well, I think that rule is about to be broken. As far as I understand, the reason Black Flash can't be performed at will is because the time frame required to perform Black Flash is so small that it's basically, it's a stroke of luck to be able to get Black Flash for most people. It's also why chaining Black Flashes is so impressive for people like Yuji and Nanami. But here's the deal. It's not just a pure luck thing. It's an actual matter of timing. I think you need to have the release of curse energy be within 1/1,000,000th of a second of the impact. So in theory, that means it's just a matter of timing and having the sort of perception and reaction speed to be able to time that perfectly. If you've been paying attention, ever since the Chozo fight, Yuji's senses and his attention have become much more sharpened, and they keep getting progressively more sharpened as he keeps getting into more and more encounters. Although I guess he's really just fought Mahito after that, but the point is, Yuji's focus and his ability to react to things has gotten way more refined as this fight has been going on. And I think what's happening is that Yuji is reaching a point where he is able to time his releases of cursed energy in such a way that he can just perform Black Flash whenever he wants to, which would be a major power boost for Yuji. Yuji's punches are already super strong anyway, and Black Flash increases the strength of his punches exponentially, and for him to be able to exponentially increase all of his physical attacks would be a huge deal. I know I had been saying since Yuji got more Sukuna's fingers and the appearance of Maharaga that it seems like the main cast is probably going to be getting power-ups sometime soon. And I had thought that Yuji's power-up would come from having more of Sukuna's fingers, which I think is still a possibility, and I'll get into in a second. But it seems like this power-up is basically just Yuji taking what he can already do and making it even better, and then that may be supplemented with unlocking some of Sukuna's techniques. So, if you look at Yuji in this chapter, there's a couple panels of him from the front, and he is looking more and more like Sukuna as this goes on. Not because the actual tattoos are appearing, but because of like the damage he's taking. He's looking more and more like Sukuna. I'll pull up a picture showing Yuji and Sukuna from the last chapter right next to each other. You can see they're starting to look very similar. And I think this is sort of hinting that we're getting closer and closer to Yuji unlocking one of Sukuna's techniques. I'm assuming it's probably going to be like Cleave. Is Cleave the one that's just one slash, or Dismantle? Because it would make more sense for Dismantle to be the one that just slices you up into a bunch of cubes. Whichever the weakest one is, that's the one he's going to unlock first. And that could make a huge difference. I feel like what may happen is Yuji's going to get in a Black Flash on Mahito. And it'll be like, oh my god, he got the Black Flash in, but it's not enough. Like, Mahito's been severely damaged, but he's not dead. So he, like, tries to go in for one last attack to kill Yuji, and then just instinctively, without even thinking, does, like, fucking Dismantle or something and slices up Mahito. And that's how he ends the fight. I think that's a big possibility. Another thing that I think is incoming, not related to Yuji directly, is I think Mahito's probably going to pull off another Black Flash. The way the chapter ends, after talking about Black Flash so much, and showing that both of them are going in for a punch, I think we may finally get a Black Flash clash. That's what I'm calling it for now, because it rhymes. And a lot of people have been wondering about this for a while, wondering what happens when two Black Flashes collide. Well, considering how physically strong both of these guys are right now, I have a feeling it may be kind of like in Hellsing when Saris and the Captain, like, clashed fists with each other and each of their arms exploded from the impact. Yuji has survived worse than having limbs torn off or whatever. He's survived worse. I'm sure Sukuna or Shoko could just heal that in a heartbeat, so I'm not too worried about that. Just like how I'm not too worried about his face being torn open, although that scar on his face doesn't seem to be going away. They have it in cover page art, so maybe that'll stick around. Having a scarred-up shonen protagonist may actually be an interesting change of pace. And actually, if he does keep that mouth scar, that'd be kind of badass. It's like some Jonah Hex shit. Big fan of that. So, with this chapter, I think we're definitely getting to the very end of Shibuya. I think this could end in like another chapter or two at this rate. What will probably happen is next chapter you will have probably Yuji figuring out how to do Black Flash at will, getting in big damage on Mahito, and then the very end is the deciding blow of the fight. Then after that you have the aftermath of that, and you end the Shibuya incident on part 50. Imposter Get Over His Meme has not even been fucking mentioned in, like, over 30 chapters, I think? Almost 30 chapters. At this rate, I feel like they're just going to show whoever's not dead leaving Shibuya. That's just going to be how they show what happened. I feel like this is really the end of Shibuya happening here. And with that, I guess I'll talk about this week's anime episode. I had almost forgot about talking about it before doing this review. We finally got the, like, real official introductions of Nanami and Mahito. I mean, Mahito was already introduced, but, like, we got to see him actually doing stuff this time. And we got to see Nanami in action. I quite like the way that they portray his curse technique. In the preview for this episode, it was moving a little too slow for my taste, and I was like, oh no, I hope they don't fuck it up, but it's good. And I actually quite like Nanami's voice actor. What's his name? Kenjiro? he voices a bunch of other characters. He voiced Overhaul, he voiced Joker from Fire Force, and I wasn't super sure about him voicing Nanami. I like his voice, but I wasn't sure if it would really work for Nanami. But from what I've seen so far of him in the anime, I think it's going to work pretty well. And I can very happily report that it seems like a lot of people are really loving Nanami. I guess the introduction for him is not, like, as subtle as I remembered it being, which is fine. That just means that more people will be able to enjoy his character without thinking as hard. Which, I mean, when it comes to enjoying a character, I think it's generally a good thing when more people are able to understand them. But, yeah. In fact, a lot more people have found Nanami hot than I'd expected. I don't know, maybe he's just not my type. I don't know, it seems like a lot of these people have some kind of fucking daddy kink or something. But I'm very much looking forward to next week's episode. We're going to get that fight between Maido and Nanami. They changed up the order of some events. The scene where Nanami is discussing the plan with Yuji and Ijichi, that shouldn't have happened until next episode if they were going in the order that things are in the manga. I don't really mind, because the pacing still felt pretty much fine to me. So, I assume they're just doing that to sort of have things not be interrupted as much in the anime episode, which works for me. And once again, very excited to see that next week. So with that, that's all I have to say for this week's review. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. My current new subscriber goal is to see how close we get to 1,000 by the end of the year. Just 3 weeks ago, I was saying, let's see if we can get to 500 by the end of the year, and well, that was only a few weeks ago, so really, who knows what could happen at this point. If you enjoy other series such as Record of Ragnarok, Chainsaw Man, and Kengan Omega, I do videos on those series as well, so if you're interested in those, you should definitely check them out. I just came out with a new Record of Ragnarok review today, so if you're interested in that, go watch it. If you enjoy discussing Jujutsu Kaisen with other people, or you just enjoy the content I produce on this channel, I highly suggest you check out my Discord server. I have a link to it on my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.